experience. Now, talk about return. Now, fans in Rangers of Scotland are calling for Joseph Aribo's return to the Ibrox Stadium after falling out of favour with Southampton new manager. The transfer stories and a lot more. So still right here with us, enjoying the conversation every step of the way. My name is Bright James. It's another exciting afternoon to be back here on this frequency. Let's get talking in very fine details. Well, Solorex is very excited. Well, spoken there in absolute delight. I can't quite say why. Well, I wouldn't, even if I did. But he should be the one to tell his story. Well, we're back here alongside Marizona. Well, join the conversation on 090-222-310-110-27-624-565. Twists or conflicting reports. Now, we had earlier today that Everton is up for sale, but the owner, Mashiri, said, well, Everton, not for sale. So whose report should we believe now? Join us on 090-222-310-110-27-624-565. Also join us on Facebook on a verified Facebook page, Planet Radio 101.1 FM. We will stream it live underneath the live feed. Comment to take them as they come. Otherwise, the Planet 101 FM sport page is also available. So we're opening up the platforms for you to join us this particular afternoon here on the Converge of Football Fans, the Football Fans Attack. Welcome, guys. Right. Oh, every investor loves to see green is good. Yeah. Green is,
by the way, my show banger worked out yesterday. I gave you a show banger, Rivers United to win, and also Newcastle to win as well. I hope you did the business as well. Well, that was a show banger.
Yeah, you did, but I'm very sure you didn't see green because there was Bayern Munich in that.
Yeah. For Brent, for once, my show banger I've delivered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So be sure of show banger.
Well,
never be scared of Shawbanger. Be sure of Shawbanger.
Well, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure. I want to be sure of Shawbangers. Let's begin the conversation from Nigeria now. Mari match day 3 now complete. Well, maybe it should be Solorex talking about it. He loves Rivers United. The story from yesterday is that Rivers United claimed the hard-fought win over visiting Niger Tornadoes at the Adoke Masimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, maintaining their unbeaten starts to the Nigerian Premier Football League 2023 season. Now, the champions won 2-1 at home at to the Ikon boys to hand them their first defeat of this particular season. And Rivers United needed only 7 minutes to open the scoring in Port Harcourt as right back Kazie Inaya was on hand to head home. A free kick delivery from Chiamaka Mado for his first goal of the season. Niger Tornadoes thought they'd equalized 8 minutes later when Charles Okafor took advantage of a gap from goalkeeper Seidu Mutuwakiru to score from a corner, only for the referee to controversially rule out the goal. Well, their true equalizer came in 27 minutes through Wahida Debaya. Step over score from the penalty spot after David Okoromi had been appended in the box, and just when we thought the point would be set, so Super Eagles led back, and Webeduru fired home a direct free kick in the 31st minute to the light of the home fans, and the Pride of Rivers go top of group with 7 points from 3 matches, while Niger Tornadoes have 6 points from their opening 3 matches. Now, let's talk about the contentious moment in that game. Well, you think, the referee was right to rule out that equalizer for Niger Tornadoes, and let's talk about how that affected the complexity of the game and how the results went.
Well, Brett, first off, I watched clips of that particular game, when the cross came in, the goalkeeper approached, to probably remove the ball from, the direction as well. And probably there was an interference with...
Probably,
there was an interference, with the opponent as well. So it's... He hit the player's body, so the keeper was, left on the ground as well. So I think that was where the referee got it right in that particular game. So, Bright, it was a nice decision from the referee as well. And aside from that, Bright, Rivers United have been very, very solid, in at-home games as well. Considering the fact that, they let go 2 of their key strikers, Tujoke Kuneto and Rafi Shak, last season, but they are still taking the front seat when it comes to scoring goals and also creating those chances and grabbing necessary 3 points at home in that particular game. So, Bright, kudos to them. I wonder what Stanley Gunn has been telling the boys to do, especially when they play at home, because they are very, very fantastic, Bright. Because the way they are going, Bright, they might just end up winning the league as well, because you can never tell. Rivers United, very fine run of form. A lot of opponents will say, come on, it was Niger Tornadoes, that just probably the whipping boys of the group as well. But prior to that Petrola game, Niger Tornadoes were unbeaten their last 2 games against Wiki Tourists and their last opponent. So, Bright, it was a 50-50 game, but Rivers United gave a very good account of themselves. They have showed us that they have showed us what it means not to be the current champion of the NPFL as well. So, Bright, kudos to them, and I want to see more progress from the team as well.
Well, right. Just taking us back to the penalty incident, because while Solorex was talking, I was trying to review the video, and the video is all over YouTube actually, because it's a contentious moment. So it's on YouTube right now, and I don't see any interference. I don't see any infringement on the goalkeeper right now. What I'm seeing basically is the goalkeeper miscalculating his run, mistiming his run, and then the ball flies over him, hits, and then the Tornadoes player just comes in and then hits the ball to score. So there is no Tornadoes goalkeeper restricting the Tornadoes player restricting the goalkeeper, whatsoever. So I think it's clearly a goal, and the referee had that call wrong. Basically, for me, it's clear, and I think that's why the AMC has called the man, to come tell us why he did not give that particular goal. So I in moments like this, I kind of want to call for the VAR, because it's a contentious moment. I would have gotten some clarity if there was a VAR, maybe an assistant referee, who's on the sidelines basically for me. So I think it's quite sad, because while we're trying to blame referees, it's not entirely their fault. They're human beings, and then there are some moments that skips their eye, that skips what they're doing. Not so much as they're 100% focused on the game, but somehow it skips them. That's why we see referees get VAR attention at some point. So I think right now you shouldn't entirely blame the referee, for not calling that goal.
I'm looking at this. I saw the clip. I don't know if it happened, but I didn't see it happen. Now, when incidents like that happen, more often than always, beyond the watchful eyes of the referee, we also have the assistant referee on the far side. We'll talk about the linesmen, and also part of the officials for that game. Now, I'm not sure I saw any conversation. Now, so if the referee missed it, was there a chance the assistant referee on the far side saw something? Was there a conversation? I thought this team is supposed to be a team thing. So what the referee misses, you should be there to see, that particular one, and maybe have a conversation, and then see how to better the law, because maybe the center referee would go in for the call, but you're there to help the center referee.
Here's the thing, right? First up, this referee is a human being. Maybe that incident skipped all the eyes, basically. It's possible. And then thirdly, realize that the linesmen are a lot far away, from the referee. So, and then the referee, secondly, also thought that what he decided was, he thought that he had a clear view of the incident, and what he saw was what he thought, basically. So that's the thing. I don't entirely think that, it's in instances like that, you should have consult the assistant referee, as the case may be. But then, sometimes all of these incidences might clear the eye of all of the 3 assistants, one. And then secondly, the referee was very close to the incident, even though he didn't get a full picture, but he was close to, where it happened. And he thinks that, the goalkeeper might have been, restricted whatsoever. So that's the case. But I think that in cases like this is where the VAR comes through. That's why we have the VAR in internal climbs, because issues like this will call the attention of the referee to come recheck the incidents. Incidents like this, you have to check them out. If we didn't check it through YouTube, if we didn't have a video review, a segment, we would never get to know if that was really a goal or not. So I don't entirely want to blame the referee, but I think that he should have consulted the linesman, just to be clear.
Let's not stay too much in that. Meanwhile, if the technical team are listening, this mouse is malfunctioning. It's not working. It's not doing anything. So I like probably some change, some swap or something. Now let's talk about the under 17. The women's team, and they participated in the World Cup last year, Solorex. And now the story is that the Flamingos have been owed their World Cup bonuses from last year. The NFF president has come out to assure that the debt will be cleared soon. And, I'm left wondering, now, there's a debt, is it that FIFA didn't pay? Or FIFA paid and then, the money didn't go to the girls as, it's supposed to be the natural course?
Yeah.
So, why is this still an issue now?
Well, Brett, first up, I think FIFA paid the money. They will always pay the money allocated to, each opponent, that get to participate in the competition as well. FIFA always getting it right when it comes to carry out their instruction and carry out things like this, right? All this happened in the Amadou Melvin Pinnick-led administration as well. So this is not the first time we are hearing stories like even the girls also Super Falcons were owed money in their just concluded WAFCON as well. They came out to protest before they went to play a particular game. That's come on, we are being owed wages. We need to settle this thing before we can go ahead and try to see how we can pick positive in this particular game. So, Bright, it's not a new thing in Nigerian football. All that happened in the Amaju Mevipini administration. This is a new NFF president coming in person of Ibrahim Gassel. Bright, let's just see how he can probably take these things one side and see how he can, bring out a solution to favor this particular guy, because stories like this shouldn't be making headlines in the 21st century when it comes to Nigeria. We call ourselves Giants of Africa, but we still fail to do the basics when it comes to football as well. So, Bright, let's just see how things fan out. The NFF president has said he's going to look into this. Let's just hope the girls smile at the end of the day.
All right, now we hope the expedite action towards paying the worker bonuses of the Flamingos. Now, I'm sure they've progressed, and some of them are already within a national setup. We're talking about the senior women's national team, the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Now, let's stay with the Nigerian players and talk about Joseph Ayodele Aribo. Well, I remember we sat here a couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago, when that deal was wrapped up, that £10 million move from Ibrox, where Rangers International play football club, Rangers of Scotland rather, where they play their football, when they moved to Southampton. Now we talked about suitability, and what Joseph Ayodele Aribo exactly is taking to St. Mary's, and his chances of nailing a regular starting berth. Now we understand managerial changes also affect the fortune of players. Now Rafael Hassaoto was the man that signed him from Rangers. Well, he's been sacked, and there's a new man now, and he's fallen down the pecking order. Before we talk about the story of Rangers fans calling for Aribo's return to Rangers, let's look at the problem. Why do you think Aribo struggled, for form and fitness at Southampton in the Premier League?
Well, Brett, first up, the guy is 26 years of age. Looking at players who leave the Scottish League to come play in the Premier League, it's not easy for you to clearly acclimatize to the weather condition, the training, and the whole thing in a different environment as well. But Brett, Aribo for me has been a very, very fantastic player. From the start last season, from Rangers, from goals contribution to the Europa League final, where he was very integral for the team as well. Brett, this is one problem I have with Nigerian players as well. If you are doing well in wherever you are playing, why don't you remain there? He had the privilege to play in the Champions in the Europa League as well, putting good numbers, contributing to the team season in, season out, alongside Calvin Bassey. But Bright, if you are doing well as well, another thing is for you to move to another team and see how you can probably make your stocks to go higher as well. But Aribo was a fine player at Rangers. Why don't you just stay there, put in those numbers season in, season out? Bright, it was about doing it on a consistent basis as well. Yeah, he did it just a season, and the whole world just went, wow, okay, Aribo, you are doing this.
But we've sat here again and then complained about Nigerian players and their stocks within the European Isle. Now, we talk about players in the Champions League. We talk about players playing in elite clubs.
Yeah.
Now, we talk about the Arsenals of this world, the Barcas, the Real Madrid, the Bayern Munich, the Manchester City, the Manchester United, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, Liverpools, and the rest of them. PSG, Juventus, Inter Milan, now Napoli has joined the fray. Now, we'll talk about the need to have Nigerians there exposed to football at the very highest level, because that would in turn maybe affect and improve the way we play football within the national team. So, why is it so bad? Was that such a terrible move? Joseph Ayodele Aribo, moving from Rangers to Southampton.
No, Bright. No, there was so much potential actually in that particular move. I was talking to Solorex the other day. Football moves, transfers are 50-50. It might work, it might not work, unfortunately. And Aribo is not a bad player. He's just gotten into a bad team and got into the team in a very bad time. So look at Southampton struggling for form, trying to get wins, and it's difficult for them. He plays his part as much as possible. I remember when he got into the team, was key and critical, in that midfield combination with James Ward-Prowse there. So he was that creative hub for the team, and he was doing very well. But the team holistically is struggling. So what do you expect from Joe Aribo? He just cannot take the team on his shoulders alone. Team who have to work. We keep talking about a situation where players' form are affected, affected seriously by the team's form. So that's a problem. Aribo is an entirely bad player. We've seen him play, for Rangers. He's a fantastic player. We've seen him play in competitions. Remember when he took Rangers to, I think it was the Europa League final or thereabout. He was good for them, And then the Conference League, rather, he was particularly very good for the team. So that's the story. I think it's a case of moving to a bad team at a bad time. And mark my words, if he leaves that team to a team that are doing very well, you'd see that his qualities would definitely be there. So that's the story. I don't think it's entirely a bad story for Joe Aribo. I feel sad for him because he was expected to do better with the Southampton side. But I think it's a case of the fact that the team is doing, and that's why Aribo looks like he's doing badly.
All right, now let's talk about Rangers and the call for Aribo to return. You think that could be good for him at this point of his career, because it looks like he's not going forward, he's not going backward. It's just a stock at Southampton. Would that be anything good for him?
Well, right. I think first up is a lifeline for him, basically, because the Rangers fans still love him. They adore him because they know how much of a player he is. He was to them, in the few years he spent there. Rangers are second in the Scottish Premiership right now. Just behind who talk about Celtic with just 3 points, and then he stands a chance of European football as well, which will be a major attraction for him. So I don't think it's entirely going to be a bad idea if he heads back to Celtic, to Rangers rather. Secondly, a player performs more where he's happy, and at Rangers, Aribo is happy. There's not too much pressure on his shoulders. That's the story. So I think going back to Rangers will not entirely be a bad idea, but I also think he should be a lot more patient. Watch and see if any other top flight club would come for your signature first of all before looking at Rangers.
No, that's some story. And of course, we're looking forward to even better stories for Nigerians playing in the European leagues.
to be a proper, Carabao Cup final. But United faced Nottingham Forest today for a place in that final. It's a two-leg tie, so there's a lot to be expected. But for United, it's good that they're getting themselves back on track. Everything is working for them. Michael Rashford is scoring. Talking about Lisandro Martinez defending very well. Casemiro is playing so well in the midfield. So everybody's happy, basically, for United. So it makes sense to see both teams square up in the final. And for me, that'll be a proper final fixture.
Well, it's a real opportunity for Nottingham Forest as well. We can't rule them out. They're in this particular one and show a dream. We show a dream of a chance at history, playing in Wembley, a famous Wembley, in a few weeks' time from now. When it gets to the last four like this, ambition, it could be very high. And Nottingham Forest, they show dreaming, aren't they?
Absolutely. Aside from ambition, I think another thing that really counts has to be experience when it gets to the final third like this. All what you need to do is an experienced player to come out clutch in big games like this, because it's absolutely a big game getting into this particular. But aside from that, Nottingham Forest, they were they left it against Bournemouth on the weekend, where they allowed Bournemouth to score first before they could equalize. I think they are also struggling as well in that particular game. But this is the destiny of Manchester United lies on their hand as well too, for them to grab you with two hands. I could recall you and what you said, that you never play the Manchester United anthem until they win the league. So I just probably remember a reminder that you should start gearing up to play the anthem, because the way Manchester United are doing.
I didn't say win the Carabao Cup. Said win.
But you said win something.
All right.
Really? So probably, I think you should be gearing up to play the anthem for if they win the Carabao Cup as well. So it's a banana skin game for Manchester United.
You think they can win this one?
Well, it looks very open for them. Who are there for them to compete with? Newcastle. They've been a very solid team. They drew in the league as well. But if United can probably get past a stubborn Nottingham Forest team, then I see them winning this particular one, Brad, because they have all what it takes to go to the next round and probably win the Carabao Cup as well.
Let's also not write off Nottingham Forest, right? We keep talking about the United Newcastle fixture, which looks good on paper, but Forest have been fantastic. Had a slow start to life in the Premier League, but they're doing very well in the Carabao Cup, which looks good for me. And then lately, the last couple of games, they've looked quite decent. And then there's been some level of stability and consistency from this Forest side. And I think if United write off Forest, they might do that at their own peril, basically, because it looks like they can win the game until something happens. And then we're talking about Taiwo, who's getting to score even more goals for the team. Emmanuel Dennis barely gets to play, but when he comes in, we see his performance for the side too. United have a big hole against Nottingham Forest, and if they, underrate this team, they might not find themselves in the final.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Last night was a story of Bayern Munich coming from behind to draw against Cologne by a goal apiece. Actually, that's how it ended at the Allianz Arena. Well, it's been a slow start. Again, Mario thought the World Cup had given Julian Nagelsmann that needed break, and that would allow him the leisure of time of re-engineering the lads and putting the head back in the game. But post World Cup, same struggle, 2 games, 2 draws so far.
Yeah, over reliance on young players in the team, and that's his problem. Yes, you're a young manager, but of course experience is a thing, and you have to count on your experienced players. Yesterday was an experienced Joshua Kimmich that salvaged that draw for them, but over time, he's overly relied on young stars. We're talking about Matthijs de Ligt, Martin Stels, and the rest of them, getting to score goals for them, and it doesn't always have to be young stars. Look at the team that Bayern Munich struggling against a team like Cologne, who naturally should not be a match, for Bayern Munich. So it shows you, the stance, and they've been quite poor post World Cup. Basically, we're talking about recording just 3 wins after the World Cup, and it shows you how bad the stocks have fallen for me. So they have to get themselves back on track. And of course, for the man Nagelsmann, he has to count on the big names, because these are the names that have brought them, trophies and honors for the past couple of years. So why keep the old stars on the bench and then bring the young ones in games like this? It doesn't make sense.
Stars on the bench?
Well, we're talking about, he barely, the likes of what's his name now? Kimmich barely plays games. He prefers, the man he brought from Leipzig, to play games, and then Leon Goretzka is also most times on the bench, for them. And that's the story. He banks on, Pamecano to start games ahead of, a lot more experienced players in the team. Benjamin Pavard, yes, a fine player, but then we've got players who a lot more experience on the bench, and you don't play them, and that's a sad thing for me. And I'm looking at the Bayern Munich lineup, and gradually it looks like they don't have quality. Because I was looking at their bench. It's just Kingsley Coman, Marcel Sabitzer, and maybe Gravenberch and Leroy Sané. But this is a Bayern Munich team that before now used to be quite quality, but it was also good to see Sadio Mane back in the side, for them yesterday. But I think he has to make sure that he prioritizes using the experienced legs in the team to get his result in.
Maybe it's just Robert Lewandowski, and then we're speaking English now.
Well, Brett, this is the problem I feel Bayern are having at the moment. When the team was built around Robert Lewandowski, he left Bayern after how many years conquering the Bundesliga as well, attaching many goals and assists to his name as well. But Brett, it's very difficult for a team to be back on the track, hit the ground running after letting go their main man in the league, in the team as well. Talking of Robert Lewandowski, although Eric Choupo-Moting is there scoring those goals as well. But Brett, I still feel it's a mentality problem at Bayern Munich, from the manager to the players. The other day I was watching the game. The players, they're not ready to run. The likes of Serge Gnabry and Sané, Bright, compared to last season, where they always ready to do the basics of the round of that game as well. Bright, we are talking of Bayern of last season. 5 minutes, you are 2 down against them. So Bright, they need to go back to the base. They need to put a lot of work in the training ground and see how they can probably come out and get the needful score early goals and try to see how you can grab the necessary 3 points as well, Bright.
All right, now let's look at the full results from Bundesliga yesterday. RB Leipzig, they're really flying. It was 6-1 against Schalke 04. Hertha Berlin lost against Wolfsburg by 5-0. Hoffenheim VIP Stuttgart shared the spoils 2-2. That's how it ended in that particular clash. In the Italian Serie A, Lazio beat AC Milan by 4-0. It was some embarrassing defeat for the Scudetto champions at the Stadio Olimpico. Sergio Milinkovic-Savic got the first for Lazio. Mattia Zaccagni got the second. Luis Alberto from the Sporting. Felipe Anderson got the fourth from the game we saw yesterday in the Italian Serie A. Well, very quickly, join the conversation on 090-223-1010-27 624-565. We'll look at transfer stories in a bit. Well, Spain to face Italy in the Nations League semi-finals as Chelsea eye 14 million euros Lyon star Malo Gusto. Would talk more about the lad and what potentially he brings to Chelsea if he joins. 090-223-1010-27 624-8565. Welcome.
Hello, Brad.
Yes, talk on.
Good afternoon and sports crew.
Thanks for coming.
Players have not forgotten their old antics. Could you believe Udoma United featured extra player in their match with Dakara? Again, it admit that their fans are attack Dakara fans. We don't need this kind of scenario. IMC should take action, and I believe what they can do. I believe what Edapol Ibacha and King can do. We don't need interference in this dirty game. What that do? Then finally, there, Ronaldo is not too happy now with Mendy's, his agent. We couldn't get an European club for him, thereby making a first move to Saudi Arabia. Just so. To me, Mendy's is a scapegoat. Ronaldo demands a huge amount, a huge price. When two clubs are going to Bayern Munich and Juventus need his services, we shall allow Mendy's to rest. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Top Brown, for joining the conversation this afternoon. We thoroughly appreciate you, Grady. We're keeping our eyes. Well, no, Victor, I think you'd have to call us back.
The man is always enjoying.
Yeah,
Always where things are happening.
Yeah, that place is banging too much and would actually affect the course of the conversation. Thank you, football fan, for joining us. Name and location is a drop call station. Keep it coming. Very, very importantly now. Transfers we hear. Leicester City are interested in signing winger for Leeds United, Jack Harrison. But Leeds are very adamant. They don't want to sell this man. It's a massive question here. This particular afternoon was his role at Leeds United. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Name and location.
I'm not hearing you, but I believe you can hear me. I'm Omoka Benedict calling from the Mexico. One of the things I want to say is that concerning the Nigerian match between the Nigerian Premier League match between these two Niger Tornadoes and Rivers United, I think referees are human beings. They are bound to make mistakes. So it shouldn't be what we should criticize them and all that. Even with the VAR, there are still some critical decisions that referees still need to make. And secondly, I want to say that Joe Aribo is not a bad player. You can agree with me, Bryce, that a good player coming to a bad team, definitely the player will be bad. And a bad player in a good team, definitely the player will be good. That's my take. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. We thoroughly appreciate you. Well, you support that move back to Rangers. You think that would help him rediscover the form that made him, send tones wagging from across the globe. You join the conversation and let's get talking. Welcome, football.
Hello, good afternoon, Blyden.
Yeah, Victor. This is a lot more conducive.
Yeah, Arizona and Clarence. Blyden, let me say that Chelsea, because we will pay attention with Chelsea, because what the UEFA really came out and pointed out in that team, some few days we must look out for. It's not easy for a coach or owner of the club to know the level of what his club can be able to do so in the business. But they must do a lot to improve Chelsea as a club. Let me say for now that the fans are happy because Rivers United and Akwa Ibom is one of the states who be out in competition. That means Akwa United is a top-notch team and the other FC. So let us try and make our Akwa United also in the continent so that let's go and flag our flag. That's my thing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Victor, for joining the conversation. Well, Nick Pope had some massive game last night, and that's like his 10th game without conceding a single goal. So kept a clean sheet for the 10th game now, and that's really massive. Nick Pope and Newcastle. We'll talk about him in a bit. Welcome, football fan. Name location.
Hello?
Yeah, welcome.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, I sound like we went for a bit. Try to rejoin the conversation if you can. All right. Well, this the mouse thing is still much of a concern. Options here are very limited. So the engineers, technical guys, if you're listening, well, please rush down to the studio. We didn't get this thing sorted out. All right. So we'll hit another break. And when we're back, we'll look at the Facebook comments and take transfers. Stay right here with us.
This is the season to share in, and this is the season to make yours. Visit Planet 101 FM sports page, like the page, drop a comment saying, I am game for Friday, plus the club you represent, and you could feature in one of our weekly Fans Friday attack. For more information on how you could be a part of it, join our daily football shows 3 to 4 p.m., Mondays through Fridays. Come ready to rep your club. The Football Fans Attack on Planet 101.1 FM. Every week, it's more football, more stars, more you.
The Football Fans Friday is officially here. All the biggest football fans around the globe, all in one place.
United for life.
I'm Barcelona.
What's the percent?
I'm Juventus.
Alam Madrid and Chelsea.
Surely it has to be Manchester City.
AC Milan. I've been talking about United who jacked up for life. A Yimba. Kind of sinners. Exclusive and up-to-date football content every Friday 3 to 4 p.m. on Planet 101.1 FM. Come ready to rep your club.
Thank you very much for staying right here with us. Now let's go to Facebook, Mary, very quickly and look at the comments from Facebook and see how we can engage with the fans in particular. So in Solorex, check out the live feed while Mary would consider what's happening on the sports page. So who goes first?
Well, myself, from the live feed, we have Joseph Subero who comes in and said no audio. Then Christopher James said nice audio out here. So you are confused of that particular. And then Francis Nawena comes in to say good afternoon everyone in the studio watching live from Enugu. Say good afternoon, Bright James, Marizona and Solo. Kudos to Lazio for humiliating and walloping AC Milan by 4 goals to nothing in the Italian Serie A yesterday. A good one for them, and Napoli who are now leading by 12 goals to nothing. That is all from the live feed.
Right. So like to me, I didn't ask. What was the game?
Which game?
The game that had you pumping your fist in absolute delight.
Right, I will tell you off the mic.
No, I will do it here.
Big man, here's the thing. That has nothing to do with the game. That has something to do with somebody replying his message.
Oh, okay.
I'll stop there.
Okay.
I'll stop there. I'll stop there.
Okay, so that's the game.
Yeah, that's the,
Okay.
you know, he pumped his fist and so much joy that
Yeah, I saw it.
this individual.
No, like, this place couldn't continue, so he opened the door and then run out for a while.
Yeah, and then
Then to raise.
the individual in question has not replied his messages for quite a while.
What?
And then I wouldn't disclose the identity and of course the gender as well.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Avoid me.
Let's go ahead. Give us comments from the sport page and some transfer stories now. We understand that, a lot is happening with Chelsea. They're very busy.
Yeah,
Now,
right. Talking transfers, UEFA.
Yeah. Now, that was the story I was headed to. UEFA have come out to say that
It will change its financial fair play rules actually
financial fair play
in
rules.
response to the recent
Chelsea
trend of signing players.
Chelsea are signing players these days and have spotted a loophole.
Yeah.
So they're giving players long-term contracts.
Long-term contracts.
5 years, 6 years, 7 years, so they can spread the
payment.
transfer fee,
Yeah.
the payment, for whatever transfer fee was agreed.
For instance, Mikhailo Modric, he was signed for
8.5 years.
89 million pounds, and he was signed. He was signed for an 8.5 year contract. So that means Chelsea have to pay just 11 million pounds per year. So when they're taking, their yearly books to UEFA, it's just showing 11 million pounds, not 89. And then look at the last Chelsea signings. Badishili and David Atro Fofana came for 6.5 year deals. Madueke came for 7.5 year deals. Wesley Fofana was signed for 7 year deal. Marco Correa was signed for a 6 year deal. Selen was signed for a 5 year deal. And all of this is in a bid to spread out the payment and not, get hooked up into the financial fair play rules. And UEFA have seen that Chelsea are trying to play smart. Todd Boehly looks like a wise businessman, and now they want to, limit,
they've actually moved to limited, but that would
it takes effect from the end of the season.
Yeah, the end of the season, and they can't take retrospective action. That's
Yeah.
They can't take action on deals that are already done.
Yeah.
Which allows Chelsea to get this one under the book.
At least they have a
smart move.
Yeah, they have at least one more week to secure players for 10-year contracts. I mean, the transfer market closes next week, so they still have enough chance to secure players for 8 years and 7 years. We're talking about Malogos and the rest of them. So for me, I think it's a wise move because teams might look at this model and say, well, it makes sense, and we start seeing a trend.
Yeah, well,
basically.
We take the calls, and I don't know if you saw that video on BR Football. Todd Boehly and more like a cartoon. Todd Boehly and
Graham Potter.
Welcome, football fan. Name and location. Good to have you join us.
Yes, good afternoon, Bright. Mary Solorex.
No, UK.
Yeah. On the Joe Aribo case, it's difficult for a good player to go to a bad team and make the bad team look good. Only a good coach, a top-notch coach, can make a bad team look good. Perfect example, Antonio Conte came to meet Chelsea in one of the worst form of their life, took them from that team to a title-winning team. So I think players, individuals have little or no influence on an already bad team. And a clear example, Joao Felix came and tried to make Chelsea look like a good team. They give a red card, they go sit down first. So observe the thing, that the team is not playing is that speed. So I think he should go back to Rangers if it was up to me. He should go back to Rangers. He has a lot of fan base there, a lot of love, guaranteed shirt, and then familiar terrain. That's my take for now.
All right, thank you very much, UK, for joining the conversation. We appreciate you. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Pastor Tony, I'm calling
Pastor,
from
welcome.
Marizona and Beckley. I think Portfolio, for the very first time, is thinking very well. And I like what he's doing for now. Even though on other issues about the contract, taking out of the contract years, he has not done as well as we expected. But kudos to him, at least he will certainly without the big stick and at least for the next one season. I want him to use the players to tell Graham Potter to use the players in the forward paper, right? So that at the end, maybe in the next 6 weeks, Chelsea should be in the top 4. Seriously, it will be a shame if my club Chelsea misses out on Champions League position next year. I wish Chelsea and the manager, the owner, the best of luck. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate it. Chelsea and Newcastle, Kieran, getting Everton. This Anthony Gordon was close to leaving the club in the summer, but was held back and it's really struggled for form. Looks like his mind left Everton. No longer there.
Yeah, I think so too, right?
According to his mind, only embodied it.
Yeah, I think that was the story, because he already started thinking of how to start in life to be Chelsea, because Chelsea were serious. We're getting him the table, I think £50 million back then for him, and then he was thinking about the potentiality of playing for Chelsea and all of that. The deal never went through, and the man was never a same player again. It's good to see him still in the books of Chelsea and Tottenham, ahead so far, and it's good to see. Well, coming to Chelsea doesn't look like a move for me. I think the only stronghold this man has is speed. He's got loads of speed. I think he's one of the fastest players in the Premier League so far. But creativity, still average for me. Goal scoring average for me. And I wonder what he'll come to do with Chelsea. And I wonder he's the difference between this young star and maybe Raheem Sterling. Not much difference for me.
Well, could do a lot at Everton or at Newcastle.
At Newcastle, right, as compared to Chelsea, because Newcastle need loads of pace. Because we're talking about this man. Alan Maximin, not entirely consistent for the team for the past couple of games due to his injury issues and all of that. But he comes into Newcastle as to the quality, and then they need speed because I've watched them play. They barely have players with so much speed. Alan Maximin is the only player with that kind of speed, and he barely plays games due to injuries. So he would win at Newcastle as compared to Chelsea for me.
All right, now so let's talk about more transfer stories here this particular afternoon. Now, the man is quoted to be worth about £100 million. We'll talk about the Ecuadorian in a bit. Welcome, football fan.
Hello.
Okay, thanks for joining.
Returning to welcome.
I'm calling from Calabar.
No,
My name is Gandhi.
all right, can you walk away from the radio set? So we're getting the whole back.
Yeah, I'm calling from Calabar.
All right.
My name is Gandhi.
All right, so how's the reception in Calabar meanwhile?
Yeah, the latest transfer from Chelsea.
Latest transfer from Chelsea. Thank you very much.
Yes, they want to sign players.
Malo Gusto has to be the latest name. Maybe Anthony Gordon has got to be the other. Well, let's talk about the Ecuadorian. Moises Caicedo. How good is the lad? Because now we understand Brighton have slammed a £100 million price tag on him. Chelsea are very much interested. Arsenal, we understand, have now joined the race to sign the 20-year-old midfielder.
Well, right, first of all, when you look at the midfielders at Chelsea, you get to understand that age is no longer by their side. Talking of Jorginho, Kante doesn't guarantee you 38 games out of 38 as well. And there's a Moses Caicedo who will definitely come in to probably play all the games for Chelsea in the Premier League as well. And also, he's a starter at Brighton and Hove Albion as well. So Brighton, he brings in quality and also he brings in a little of experience to this Chelsea team as well. But Bright, I feel he's not a player of that caliber that Chelsea needs to sign. Chelsea, that we know, do go for high-profile players as well that can easily come into the first team, probably break into the first team and bring the whole experience, probably take the team
when
to
you
the
talk
next
about
level as
high
well.
profile, that's a little here, a little there, Marizina. When you consider where Kante came from
Leicester after winning the league as well.
After winning the league, but before Leicester, it's just pretty average guy.
Well, maybe Moses Caicedo needs to win the Premier League before he can move to
But
Chelsea.
here's what I think. I don't really care about.
Now I'm looking at the quality of the player. And,
I'm going there.
Exactly, his suitability with Chelsea now.
Yeah, what he contributes to the team.
Now he's more of, he looks more to me like a Kante kind of guy. And then they haven't got another Kante in that team. Talk about Chelsea. Midfielder that snaps at heels, has got ball recovery and then interception very high. Kante has done that consecutively in the Premier League over the last 6-7 years. He's been there consistently. Now we've got Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho, we've got Conor Gallagher, we're talking Robin Loftus-Cheek, other midfielders, but none in the mode of Kante. And many say why one of the reasons Chelsea is struggling right now is because Kante is not there. And what he does is just unique. And many also say, well, this is a guy that could walk in the Stamford Bridge and replicate what Kante has done there in the side of the last couple of years.
Yeah, right. Basically, talking about, I don't care about high profile or high profile player. I'm talking about contributions to your side. He's a fine player, but it's a youngster who can do basically everything: interceptions, tackles, and all of that. He could contribute a lot to Chelsea because Chelsea have lacked solidity in the middle of the park. They've not had a proper defensive midfielder since N'Golo Kante, and that's been a concern for them because Jorginho does not do the defensive part of midfield duties, and that's been the story over time. So Caicedo comes in and does good job. But £20 million for him. Well, how much is Enzo Fernandez? Fernandez is 110. For me, I think I'll go for Fernandez because Fernandez contributes a lot more. Apart from defensive contributions, Fernandez can do some attacking duties for you. He knows how to score goals, and he's got pace. He can run for 130 minutes, 150 minutes. That's not something we can guarantee from Moses Caicedo.
Really?
He's a fine player, right? I'm talking about running.
No, you can't take
him to play.
No. We've seen Caicedo, even at the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of guy that it's not like Jorginho. He don't just sit there and wait.
Yeah.
When he's got the opportunity, he's young and of course very energetic.
Yeah.
You've seen that burst of pace.
Yeah.
Pace rather. It goes up and then
definitely
shuffling in the middle of the park too. But it's surprising. I understand.
I prefer Enzo.
Yeah, I know.
For his attacking.
Yeah, I know. With like for Chelsea, you prefer Enzo. Just from the World Cup, his high profile would fit the bill. But now you can't say because you like Enzo Fernandez more that Moses Caicedo can't do the job.
No, I'm not saying Moses cannot do the job. He can do the job.
He can't run.
No, I'm talking about last. I'm talking about the extra factor. Yes, you're defensive midfielder, but there are days where you need to be upfront, do something magical, and score goals.
You've not seen him do that.
Nah, right. How many goals does he have? I don't think he even has the goals so far this season. That's the thing. But for Enzo Fernandez, he does the job for you. Sits in very deep if you want him to. Plays that 8 for if you want him to. Again, and could be a 10 if you want him to.
Now, again, Solorex, we've talked about suitability. Yeah, Enzo Fernandez has done that. He's done that at the World Cup with Argentina. They have a proper system there. He's done that at Benfica in the Portuguese Premier Liga. Yeah. But he hasn't done that in the Premier League. But this is a mostly side, Caicedo side. Lad has done this in the Premier League since he burst into the scene at 19. He's been there exposed at such a young age and has been doing this consistently. And then there's the thing with Graham Potter. Graham Potter brought him the limelight. Yeah. So he almost definitely understands, the demands of this manager, knows how he plays. And, many say he almost walks in there.
Well, right, not all players, that with their former manager will definitely work out in moving on to the next team as well.
Marco Correa.
Yeah, the story of Eric Ten Hag when he came back to meet Van de Beek as well has not been on a positive side as well.
Van de Beek was already damaged before Ten Hag came back.
Aside from that,
no, it wasn't.
Both players, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, but I won't pick any of them. We are talking about an integral role for Chelsea as well. A player that can just come in, walk into the starting 11, probably fix those problems as well. Let's look at the midfielders at the top Premier League clubs as well. Talking of
who walks in? Who walks in and does the job for you?
Brett, I will do the homework. Brett, a player like Rodri, he came from Atletico Madrid, walked into the first team of Man City as well, solved the problem as well.
Rodri wasn't even high profile. Rodri was first choice. He was wait, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was champion. Let's talk about Rodri, right?
You can't say it was really first choice because Rodri was Thomas Partey there, and then we had Koke.
Partey was first choice. Koke was second choice. At Atletico, so he had no chance. They had to push him.
Second choice.
Koke was there. They had to move him to Villarreal because they lost Dani Parejo at that time in the team, so they needed somebody to come in, and he was there. Put up, just had one fine season, came to City and was fantastic. So it has something to do with if you're a key player, if you're not a key player. I think it's about quality as a player, and of course the coach you're playing under.
How about the story of Casemiro?
What happens to Casemiro?
Fine player, walks into the team, solve the problems.
Yeah, that's the record of a key player.
What I'm talking about. Now elsewhere, according to the Sun French forward, Kylian Mbappe is set to tell PSG. I'm sure he's already told PSG to make a fresh move for Man City and Portugal midfielder Bernardo Silva this summer. He wants to reunite with his former Monaco teammates. Now, according to the Independent, Everton will continue to talk to Marcelo Bielsa while becoming the new manager, but will also consider appointing their former boss, Sam Allardyce. Oh, so big Sam still in the market. Interesting. All right, now Arsenal have made an inquiry into Juventus 24-year-old US midfielder Weston McKennie It's about his availability. The Gunners are in pole position when it's time to sign Real Valladolid's 18-year-old Spanish fullback, Ivan Fresneda. According to Football Insight, even as we hear that the Gunners are willing to allow Cedric Suarez join Fulham on loan. Is it loan or full-time deal?
Full-time.
Full-time deal.
Yeah, full-time deal.
So it's hard game time.
Limited, yeah, hugely.
So if Tomiyasu is struggling to play games, then you know you're Cedric. You have to go elsewhere.
Definitely, and then Fulham don't entirely have a steady right back. They've been using a midfielder to play the right back position for the past couple of games, despite being very good too. I think it goes there as to the quality. Fulham are not entirely a bad team. They've been quite fantastic this particular season. Look good, on paper. So he goes there, adds to the quality, and then partners with his Portuguese brothers in Pauline here, and of course the other man who's an attacker. I'm trying to remember his name right now. So good for me. Good escape route.
Bournemouth have agreed to sign goalkeeper Darren Randolph on a permanent deal from West Ham and Roma defender Matthias Vieira on loan for the rest of the season. Solorex?
Oh, right. Tottenham Hotspur have completed the signing of Danjuma from Villarreal as well.
Hijack.
Okay, hijack. Right. I'm just wondering where he's going to fit into that particular team as well. Probably some will retire to the bench.
No. Maybe you think I know Danjuma walked into that team? Walks in.
I think he's a contingency plan for maybe if Richarlison goes on injury again.
Yeah, but again, we understand they had that relationship back at Villarreal.
Yeah. So
not. I was thinking of Unai Emery.
No,
Villa.
Conte, basically.
Now, but walks in there. Let's look at the wingers they have. One time, Brian Gill hasn't hit the heights expected since that big money move, and then Lucas Moura, it's been in and out injury.
Richarlison.
Yeah, I think first up, Brian Hill is a left-footed winger, so he's struggling for game time with Kulusevski. We're talking about the right side, and then
it's more like even Perisic.
Yes, Son has maybe Perisic, and then do not be surprised. This man plays as a right wing back.
Yeah,
you're not surprised if Conte plays him as a right wing back because Conte has not been able to have stability around the position. We're talking about Emerson is coming, not entirely consistent. Mastoheti has played as well, so maybe Danjuma comes in and after the quality.
Danjuma, that's still Kulusevski.
Yeah, Kulusevski played the attack. Maybe a winger.
Yeah, no, because
in a 3-4-3 formation.
There we're talking even Perisic, and then we'll talk about what's this this guy.
Richarlison?
No, it's the left footer. The left footer. It's the left back, but
Emerson Royal?
No. It's
Ryan Sessegnon?
Yes, Ryan Sessegnon.
Okay.
Ryan was the man I was looking for.
Yeah, Ryan is a left wing back.
Yeah, so Ryan has been used there more than always.
Yeah, but I think he would need a traditional right-footed player to play that position, and that's why he's bringing out the Danjuma for me.
Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking what he will be able to achieve when other managers use the likes of Son Heung-min and Harry Kane to finish top 4. He's not looking for extra legs to see how you can even break into the top 4 as well.
So it's quite a story. Rivers United would be playing their CAF Competitions Cup group stage matches at the Nest of Champions. We understand. All right, so we're looking forward to a lot more stories. Meanwhile, let's leave here for now and prepare for Battle of the Fans on Spectrum Television 5 to 6:30 p.m. Thank you, Marizona. Thank you, Solorex. Thank you. Well, a big man Blyden just walked in. It's been a busy day for him already.
Crazy.
Needs time to rest. And Bright James, have fun. Stay right here with us and continue to enjoy the rest of your day. We're out.